Alright, so this is how you pitch a Vango Spirit. They're really great hiking tents. They normally take about 10 minutes to pitch, and then unpitched about 10 minutes. We're going to do it 2-person. They are 3-man tents, you can do it 3 people, but you can still do it 2. You can even do it 1 if you want a challenge. Alright, so what you do first, you should have poles. You have an inner, which you want to keep dry, so if it's raining, I put that back in the bag. You should have the outer, and you should have around 20 pegs. If you want to have more than that, even better, but you should have about 20 pegs in there. Yeah, cool. So, what I always do is I would get the poles out first. I wouldn't undo the tarp as much, just if it's raining, you want to get the poles out as fast as you can. And they're very quick, they just kind of click into place a bit more. It's not like you have to really force them in. And they're all coloured, so like this one is obviously the orange one, that one's the blue one. So they are very simple sense to pitch, and it's all colour coded. Cool, and that one's orange. So then you lay it out. So lay it out where you want the door to be. Then that is the layout of the tent. Now you've got 2 choices here. I always at least peg out one side. I just put 2 pegs on one side here, and to do that you'd get the strap and put it in like so, exactly. Now you don't need to do it too tight, you don't need to do it too loose, because you might take these out to remove the ones the tent's actually pegged out. Now if it was really windy, I'd also do the other side, but just for the sake of argument, I'm just going to do the middle one, just so at least there's one in, but I'm definitely going to take this out later on. And that just kind of stops it blowing around in the wind, because it's a bit annoying if you're hiking and stuff. So putting your poles in, you want to start from, we'll do the white one first. Start from one end of the tent. And as you can see here, come close, it's got wee colour codes on them, and then just below the colour code, it's got a wee hole that you can go through. So put it through, do not ever pull these poles, as if you pull them the elastic will stretch, and you just kind of push them through, and the other person can guide its way through, right, taking its time. And you want to pull it out so it's about equal on each side, so just the back bit showing, and that's completely fine. Then you move on to the blue one. Same again. Push it through. We're doing this quite fast, and again you take your time, and there you go, and then the last one, and got it? Sometimes if you've got 2 pegs in, it's quite hard to actually move the material around, at least it's not blowing all over the place. Then you get the ends, and in these they've got a wee metal circular bit just underneath, so, and they don't have any like clips to put them in, but you use the silver bit here, and that just goes in the hole like that. You can adjust the tension by pulling that tight, but I always have it on the lowest one, and you can tighten it up if you need to tighten it up. And then you just carry on going along the head, doing that. All the way along. And because it's a tunnel tent, if you've got 2 pegs in the ground, as soon as Taylor gets that up, it should be standing, which is brilliant. So what I would then do is I would get another peg bag, I would take out that peg, and I would lift up the tent, like so. I would stretch it out as tight as I can. Then I put it on the ground, and then peg it in again, nice and tightly. Okay? So that there's not really any dips in the tent. You can't see any dips. If you really want to be reassuring, you just move it like that. Lift it up in all these places. That's fine. And I'm going to redo this one. Again, so you want to make sure you're putting the pegs in at an angle, not straight up, at an angle so they stay in the ground. Then all I would do is then just peg around all the pegs around the tent. So as soon as you really get the tent up and it's standing, I get the peg bag and the inner inside the tent just to keep it dry if it's raining, because you don't want that stuff getting wet. So to do guy lines, they're very, very simple. You undo them, okay? Right, undo them, and these have we got the wee black toggly bits. So these are quite a interesting design. They've kind of got wee knobbly bits there, teeth there, yeah, and that actually holds the rope in place. So like there is get held in place by the teeth, but as soon as you take them out the teeth, it can move around freely. So I always take it down halfway, get a peg, and pull them out. I would only really put in the guy lines if it's really windy, and if there's any risk of the tent falling down. If it was a really, really nice day, I wouldn't bother, but it's always good practice. If you're at a patrol competition camp, again, you should always just do the guy lines, just for good practice type of thing. You shouldn't need to ever really stand on these pegs that much. You should always just be able to push them in with your hands, unless the ground is absolutely solid. But if you stand on pegs, they're more likely to bend. So in the Vango Spirit, you've got loads of space. So if you just need it for emergency shelter, if you didn't have an emergency shelter with you, you can use it, and you can just all sit in it like this. If you're sleeping in it, right, only really if you're sleeping in it, I put the inner in. If you're just using it as a storage tent, if you're away camping, I would put the inner in it just because you don't want to get the inner destroyed. So what you do is you want the black bit of the inner to be touching the ground, and you want the orange bit facing up. Always start from the back because it's quite hard to get into. It's got a clip on each corner. So this clip here goes into this corner here, and then this clip goes in this corner here. So it's just simply clipping it out on the sides. Right, I do all the 4 corners. Right, so the 6 clip point, which is clipped in. Right, again, you don't want to kind of go on the orange because you want that to stay nice and dry. So if you can, avoid it where possible. So starting at the back, the wee clip here. So clip that in, and then I always put the top one in. So the black one's the top one, the rest are orange. It's quite hard shuffling around this thing. Top one, and then it's a lot easier to do the other ones. I'm missing one there. Than these ones. So if you've done the top one, it means the bottom ones are a lot easier to do. All the way around. Like so. Right, and then again, doing the top one, just up here. And then doing around here. What's also really good about this tent is that it's got these things here, which is, if it's really, really windy, you can actually clip these down here, and these things down there, and it will actually protect it from the wind, and protect the poles from snapping from the wind. So it's not all about your tent blowing away, it's about your tent actually, actually surviving the night by nothing breaking, which is really good. So, I haven't checked what it's like inside this tent, so there's rubbish. So, only a little bit of sugar on the ground. But yeah, so that's really it. You've got side panelling, and you can put the door into the side. I'd always do no shoes in here. Like no sweets in here, but that would never be the case. Alright, so taking down the tent is very simple. Pull the peg out. I always have a wee pile of pegs when doing it. Pull the wee toggle up to the top, like always, and half it, and then just do an overhand knot or a figure of 8, whatever you can do, in the rope. Because this is a 2 or 3 man tent, I would have one person inside the tent putting away the inner, and I had the rest of the people taking out all the guy lines, and also these side pegs here, but leaving the 2 end ones here and here, these 2 in and the other 2 in, as if they come out, they'll blow away the tent. If it's really windy, I would leave all the ground pegs in and just get the people to do the guidelines. But if it's calm weather, then just all the other pegs, but the two end ones, and get someone in the side of the tent, putting away the inner, like we're going to do just now. So, putting away inner is very, very simple. Just unclip it all. So again, I would not undo the top one first. I'd unclip all the side ones, like so. Make sure the door's zipped up as well, and then do that one. And then what's quite a nice one to do, if you really want to keep it dry, unclip these ones as well, unclip the sides, and then you can kind of push it back a bit as it then stays. Right. And you don't want any of the wetness touching the orange top. You also tend not to want to touch in the morning the tent at all, because water will get through. Even if it wasn't raining last night, your tent may still be wet due to condensation, etc. But yeah, undo them all, unclip them all. Oh, that's something with my bottom of your face. Alright, most pleasant view in the world. Right, cool. And then lay it all out. Now, it's really important again that this stays dry. You don't want this wet. So if this gets wet, you'll have a nasty sleep in the morning if you're hiking. So what I always do is I put dry to dry and wet to wet. And what that means is, so that would be orange to orange and black to black. So I put, so that the dry side goes into the dry side. Like so. And then this would all, in theory, be wet. Then I'd put the wet to the wet again. And then wet to the wet again. So black to black. Trying to keep in the orange so that stays nice and dry. And just fold it up into a little wee ball. Maybe about that size, because then later on when you've actually got the tent down, you'll just roll it in with the tent. Cool. Cool. Now, by that time Taylor's got all the guidelines tied up, and we can get the rest of the pegs pulled out. Alright, so that's all the pegs out, minus the two end ones on each end. So for putting it down, if it's not very windy, I just take one side out and leave the other side in. And then the tent in theory should collapse, which it does. And then the reason I keep the two at the back in is just so if it blows away, you're not, got a blown away tent. Unclip them in from both sides. And then you push through. Now what I always end up doing is I always kind of hold the fabric and push the pole with my hand like that, and then pull the fabric back, and I find that's the quickest way of doing it. And you can do it one person or you can do it two persons. It's always nice having someone to do it with you. Cool, so then you just undo the last two pegs, and then folding it up. So as soon as we unpeg it, it gets windy. So you kind of want to make a rectangle with them. So I use the creases, like this crease here, I would use that as a wee mark, and I would fold it in on both sides to that crease. So you made a wee rectangle. And then we can go, Taylor, come to me. Then you can go that way, that's fine. And just fold it up a couple of times to the side. Now what you can do is a wee handy wee trick. If you get the peg bag, and so that's the inner ring on top. What you can do is the bag is not going to be that much, well, it's not going to be smaller than the pole bag. So if your pole, you go across the peg and it's around the same size, it will fit in, okay? If it's like massive, like that's a lot wider, then it ain't gonna go in that much, but it should go in. Alright, so you roll it all in together. Everything's there, nice and tight as you can get it. Squishing all the air out of it. And then don't like lift up the tent too much. You kind of want to just use the ground a bit more, push it in, And then get in about 1/3 of the way, and then you can probably lift up the tin and use gravity to help you get it in the bag. And it is always, you know, it's always hard. These bags don't stretch that much. Give it a bit of a push around, and then it will go in nice and nicely. Awesome. And then you pull it tight, and then put the straps around it, and then that'll go in your bag nice and easily.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.